world. Good morning, everyone. Reporting live. Reporting live from Las Vegas, Nevada. It is currently 8 a.m. I think I've been up since 4. Shout out all my East Coast girlies that come to Vegas and try to rally, and we just can't do it. We just can't. I just came from a work trip in Orlando and I flew from New York to Orlando on Saturday. My flight was delayed 5 hours. Maintenance and changing planes and tire change and yada, yada, yada. I was supposed to get to Orlando at 6 and I was planning to have a nice night, relax, get all my things organized for the week because it was going to be a very big week. So then I could feel good about waking up at 5 a.m. and working all day. I think I got to the hotel at 12:30 a.m. Woke up at 5:30, worked till 11. The next morning, woke up at 5:30, worked till midnight. Got to sleep in a little bit the following morning. But it was chaos and suddenly good kind of chaos. Like love my work, love my job. It was so much fun, but I left that trip feeling depleted. The battery level was probably at like 10%. So then I flew here, right? We get here. We're here for my dad's birthday. We're his birthday is today actually because I'm filming this on his birthday. Shout out. But yeah, I'm here with my family. We're gonna have so much fun, and I just woke up this morning feeling like probably at 1.5%. We're on the struggle bus today. You would think that I went to the club last night till 5 a.m. I think I had 2 drinks and I was in this bed at 10 p.m. Let's see if I can take these off. Oh, it's okay. We're here. We're awake. But yeah, we had dinner. It was so much fun. Yeah. So let the festivities begin, okay? I'm staying at the Wynn because where else would you stay? I don't really understand why you would go to any other hotel because this is truly the best one. And it's funny because I don't leave the property when I'm here. I'll go see a show, I'll go see friend honestly, I'll go see a friend show and that's it. I don't why would I leave? And that's honestly what I'm kind of struggling with now because I actually have a lot of people that are here right now for work, people that live here, and I'm my again, the battery level is at 1% and I'm really trying to just jam pack family time and recovery because once I get back to New York, we hit the ground running with other work things. So I have to be selfish because I know that I can't go back to New York and then take like 3 days to recover. So I'm like kind of going through because I'm posting that I'm here. So everyone's responding. So now I kind of have to do that like thing where I just have to tell people like, oh, I'm here with my family. Like I have to be selfish that way. So coffee. Okay. Lost the train of thought already. But yeah, one of my friends lives here and she's like, okay, Presley, this time, we're going to go to Fountain Blue. Okay. We're going to go to the bar at Fountain Blue. And I'm like, uh-huh. Uh-huh. And I feel bad for my brother because he's like sending me pictures of all of the headliners and Diplo and chain smokers and pool parties. And I'm like, so I'm going to be in the bed. In the bed is where I belong on this trip. Okay. Because we got to recover. It was funny because in Orlando, I got to meet my friend's fiance, which was so exciting because the last time I saw her, she was like, I think I'm getting engaged soon. So this was very exciting. And anytime I'm like with a in the vicinity of a straight man, I like corner him and I sit him down and I ask him all the questions of like, oh, someone that I'm talking to did this. Is that weird? And then he said this. Is that weird? What do you think about this? Would you do that? What do you think he meant by this? Blah, 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 blah. And unfortunately, I did ambush him with all the questions. And unfortunately, something that I did think was kind of weird, he agreed with me that it was weird. He was like, if he does it again, that's weird. And so, well, maybe one day I'll say what it is, but we will follow up on that hopefully. So I also wanted to kind of like follow up on last week because I feel like I sounded really cutthroat. Like when I was watching it back, I was like kind of having some anxiety about posting it because I feel like I sounded insane, but that's just how I operate. And I do think, obviously, take everything that I say with a grain of salt, but I do think when it comes to dating, we really don't need to take it that seriously and we really don't need to pour all of our energy into that. So, I it comes from a place of I just really don't want to waste my time. I love men. I love having fun with men. You know, I haven't met someone that I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be my person." And so maybe like one day when I do, I'll be sitting here saying something different, but I just want everyone to remember that don't waste your time. But also on the other side of it, it's okay to get really excited about someone that you've met. Like I've been through it with my friends. We get really excited. We're like, oh, this person has potential, and then it doesn't work out. And that's okay. That's part of it. But being straightforward and knowing what you want is definitely the way to go. Being honest, having open communication. 2 dates that I went on recently, I wasn't feeling it. Like, we had fun, but I just knew that it wasn't something that I wanted to continue exploring, so the next morning, I just sent a text, and I was like, "Thank you so much for dinner. I had a lot of," I don't think I said a lot of fun. "Thank you so much for dinner. It was nice to meet you. I just don't think that I see a connection. I hope you find what you're looking for." Easy. One person responded, the other person didn't. But easy, okay? So we just need to stop putting so much pressure on it, okay? Go out, have fun. It's summertime, live your life. And something that I was talking to one of my friends with was the idea of being who you truly are and the idea of putting on the best version of yourself when you're going on these dates. Oh, also side note, I I am solo dolo right now, so I don't have anyone behind the camera, so this could not be recording right now and I would never know. So if I get up in the middle to check, that is why. Or if I need a coffee break, it's because I think I have brain damage from the lack of sleep and the time change. Like I feel a very deep headache happening right now, but it's okay. We're here. Maybe I need to eat. So going on a date, you're putting on the best version of yourself, right? If this is who you are in your daily life and this is the best version, I personally think dates 1 through 5, we should be hovering around like a slightly elevated version of yourself because you need to figure out if the real you matches, if the real you works. Honestly, something a longer relationship that I was in, I honestly think one of the reasons that things started to kind of fall apart was because he really put his best foot forward and really did a great job of, like courting, like I hate saying that word, but he did a really great job of in the early days. And so I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. He likes all the things that I like. We're doing all this together." And then it turned out that he really didn't like any of that. And then I was like, what are we doing?" Which is fine. And I learned a lot from that experience, but you just don't want to have this facade that you have to keep up. So I'm really trying to take my own advice with the person that I'm currently seeing. We're going to call him Mr. CK. Okay. It makes sense with my friends and I, but we're not going to dive into why that's the nickname. Mr. CK. I'm taking my own advice and then even though we're both so busy, I probably won't see him till August, but we're going to start to open up a little bit more. We're going to start. That was also advice my friend's fiance gave. He was like, "Do you text him?" And I was like, "I've started to." And then, we'll see. We're working on it. We're working on it. But we were giggling about that, so that was funny. So if you're going through all of that extra effort to try and like put this personality on and be exactly who you think he wants, that's not a good recipe for a long-term relationship. So go into it. Wear hair in a ponytail. Wear sweatpants. Do whatever you need to do to feel comfortable because I promise you he's extremely nervous too. And I have way better dates when I'm fully myself and more confident because then you leave and you're like, wow, I had the best time. So now I can sit back and figure out if this is someone that I want to see again or if we had a good time and I, you know, then you don't have to keep going on dates to try and figure it out and putting on this personality and trying to pretend that you like the things that he likes. One of the dates that I went on, he was saying that on vacations he's very active. He likes to snowboard and ski and do all those things. And I was like, you know, it's like I'm more of a beach, laying down, spa, sauna, dinner. I don't like to be active. And so right away I was like, oh, I'm not going to pretend that I like to do those things. Anyway, I have notes today and I appreciate you all giving me some grace for the what's going on up here. I just wanted to circle back something that I said last week about my friend that went on a date and they split the bill. She went on another date with him. They went to the movies. He didn't wait for her to get in her Uber. So he left her standing outside the theater. I was like, oh my God, immediate no, immediate no. And one, like, that's a safety thing. You're not going to wait 2 extra minutes to just make sure that I get in my car okay. Two, I would never see this man again because I know that that's behavior that I wouldn't tolerate and I don't want that in my future person. And three, like, you're a hot girl standing on the side of the street. Some other guy could be like, hey, what's your number? Right away. Doesn't he want to make sure that you're safely home so no one else can pick you up? But that's just how I think about that. Um, so I, again, like taking my own advice of trying to open up more, but with Mr. CK, like we really don't see each other at all. We haven't like gotten into those like deep conversations yet, but again, I will never ask those questions. So we're gonna try and like break the surface level on that. Um, and something that I was talking to another friend about was the idea of a slow burn. I truly think setting up a good foundation before you go into something, having that idea of a slow burn so it's not just like that instant chemistry and it feels crazy and you're like, oh my gosh, this is my person. Like, I can't believe I met someone that I have this insane connection with. Those can be fun. Those can be so much fun. But if you're going into it looking for your person, I think I would rather have that fundamental time to really get to know each other before you get distracted with all of the other things. So, a slow burn, right? A slow burn. It's hard because you go back and think about, okay, am I wasting my time? Like we're just going to another dinner and we're just talking about more things, more life, and you're kind of waiting to see if that spark is there. But again, trust your gut. You know if it's someone that you want to see again. So keep that in mind. Let's slow burn, a slow burn summer. Okay. We can have our fun with people on the side, but if there's someone that you're interested in, slow burn and see what happens and let me know what happens. And I was thinking about it too, because he's the only person that's kind of he's the only person I'm seeing right now. There's no time for anyone else. And I had this realization. I was like, if this ends, I'll be fine. I will be 100% fine. What's the worst that can happen? My life will go on. I have friends. I have a job. I have a good life. So when it comes to all of this, like, please, please, please remind yourself if it ends, it wasn't meant to be. That's not your person. Who cares? Now you have an extra night a week to stay home and enjoy your rent. That's me. I'm like, oh, great. I don't have to put on makeup tonight. So truly, I we put so much pressure on these things, but I think it comes out of a place of we don't want to waste our time. So you're really trying to figure out quickly if this is going to be something that you want to invest in. So slow burn, listen to your gut, stay busy. Don't, like I said last week, don't change your whole schedule around to try to go on a date with someone. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And so I keep having to remind myself of this because now that I'm getting older, I turned 26 at the end of the month. Woohoo! But I'm getting older and it's so crazy to be around my friends that are married, engaged, or even people that are pregnant or trying to get pregnant because I feel so far from that. And I'm so happy for all of them, obviously, but it truly blows my mind like, wow, we're adults now. But I never used to think that I ever wanted to get married when I was younger, and I would imagine my life, and still today, with a grain of salt. But I just, when I was younger, I never had like the Pinterest wedding board. I would imagine all of these fantasies of like what I wanted my life to be. And I never saw a wedding or a man in any of those situations. I saw myself on the red carpet by myself. Everything that I wanted, I just saw me and my friends and my family. And so, and it's interesting because my parents have a very happy, healthy marriage. So I'm like, huh, I don't know where these ideas came from, but I do think it's because they did a great job of instilling in my brother and I career, career, career. Because I think deep down, the careers that we decided to go into, they knew that if we don't make it happen by ourselves, it's not going to happen. With my current career, if I don't decide to work hard, nothing's going to happen for me. If I don't decide to put myself out there and actively try and like get work and do all the things, it's not going to happen. No one hands us anything. There's no clear pipeline where you go college, this job, this job, this job. Okay, we made it. Now we can sit back. No. If you want it, you have to go out and get it. So for me, that always stressed me out. Oh, well, that part didn't stress me out. I was like, let's go, babe. I want it. Let's go. And I worked very hard to get where I am now. And I even have like the goals are shoot for the, what is it? Shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars. Some of the best advice that I got was from a man, actually. And he told me, anything that you want, think bigger. Anything that you can dream of, think bigger. You want to work for this person? What about their boss? You want this apartment? What about the 3 bedroom above it? You want to go on this vacation? What if you stay for a month? And that kind of helped me because if someone out there is doing it, it is possible. And if you want it, it is possible. Anyway, so I was always nervous that if I dated and I spent a lot of time doing that, then it would take time away from my career and it would take time away from things that I should be doing with that time, if that makes sense. But then I started to realize, like, okay, Presley, it's Saturday night. What are you going to do for your career right now? You can go have a drink with someone. You can go out. It's such an important thing to find the balance between. I don't want to pour too much energy into that. And so but I also want to make sure that I'm staying on track with the career and the things that I want in life. And I don't want to just kind of fall into the trap of having a boyfriend and then just kind of like living in his world. So I want to do all of this by myself because I know that I can. And now we're kind of warming up to the idea of maybe having a life partner, maybe warming up to the idea of having a man by my side while I do all of these things. And so I compared it to like I was coming out of the freezer. Like I'm thawing, right? My last relationship ended in 2023 and I haven't really met anyone yet that I'm like, "Oh, this could be my next person." But now I'm kind of in this conundrum because I'm 25, about to turn 26. The next person that I want to date, I want to be my partner. I can't I can't do all of that again if it's not going to end up forever. So I realized that I actually have more time than I think because my mom was 35 when she had me. So I was kind of raised on that mentality. Like I feel that I have so much time. And I always give my friends grace who have parents who had them when they were younger because they probably feel like they don't have that amount of time, like that they're trying to catch up with their parents' timelines. But I'm like, oh, I got all the time in the world. So if my next person, I don't need to meet him till I'm like 30. So I got 5 years of just hanging out, doing me, focusing on my career. But then it is kind of nice to have someone. It is kind of nice to have a man in your life for fun, but we don't need to rely on them for anything. And you want to make sure that it's someone that you feel motivated and inspired to go after life with. So, yeah, and I think this kind of happened like I noticed in my last relationship that I started to get distracted from career and things, and we were long distance, and I started to feel like very settled in that world and very complacent with that situation, and I was like, "Oh, this could just be my life." And then I remember I was with my friend and we were traveling, and it was like midnight, and I think we were like 6 months into my relationship, and I was just crying, and I didn't know why I was crying. I was crying. She was like, "Wow." We were talking about it, and I just started crying. And it was because deep down, I think subconsciously, like I didn't know that this was the issue yet, but I think I was mad at myself that I was getting complacent in a situation that I knew I didn't want. But on the other side of it, I was like, "Oh, this is easy. Like I could just do this and like call it a day." And it was kind of scary to admit that I let myself fall into that trap because that was so not me. And now, since that relationship ended, my career has just like skyrocketed. I mean, not skyrocketed to like the levels that I am wanting to be at, but so many other things started falling into my lap. And it was like the universe being like, yeah, there you go, Presley. There you go. Trust your gut. Remember to trust your gut. Here's your reward. And I did. And now I'm a very happy camper with reflecting on that and learning, everything that came from that. Um, but anyway, the idea of getting married, it's gonna be here. It's gonna be right at the Wynn in Las Vegas, but you will never catch me wearing a veil, like one of those bachelorette veils. You will never. I love the girls. I love that you all want to do that, but it's probably gonna be like in this room right there, the two of us calling it a day. And so I'm excited that I'm kind of warming up to the idea of that maybe I'm ready for someone. But also, here's the thing, too, that I had an interesting thought the other day. Wait, let me check to make sure this is still recording, honestly. Okay, we're good. We're still recording. So I had an interesting thought the other day. You know, when you get those thoughts that kind of like pop into your mind and you're like, whoa, who said that? Like I said, my friends are single, engaged, married, all the things. And I don't think I don't go on as many dates as my friends. And I kind of was just, hanging out in my room, thinking about my life. And I'm very confident in my decision to be single right now. And I like my life by myself. But this like thought popped into my mind that was like, okay, yeah, but where is he? And I was like, that was the first time that I ever felt a little bit like, hmm, like, I know I'm saying like so much because I'm trying to figure out how to say this. And I'm 25. I know I have so much time, but it's okay to ask yourself, where is he? He's got to be out there somewhere. Maybe he's downstairs getting coffee at the Win. Maybe he's at the pool waiting for me to come down. Maybe I meet him today. Maybe I meet him in 5 years. And so I think it's okay to sit back and reflect on all of the dates that you've been on, especially the bad ones. And you're like, oh my God, I can't do this again. So it's okay to have that feeling of, I'm so over this. Where is he? It's okay. Give yourself grace. But I did have a moment where I was kind of sad about it, but it made me happy in a way because that was when I started to realize that maybe I was ready for a relationship again. Maybe I was ready to start. kind of seeing men a little bit more seriously. And so we'll see. I feel like my eyes have opened up. Someone went like this. And ever since that feeling, now I just see like attractive men everywhere. Like they're everywhere. So it's all about perspective, unfortunately. And I know that people say that and it's like, okay, we get it. But it really is, staying true in what you want, not settling for what you think you should have or what you think you should do or feel pressure from anyone else. Stay true to yourself and all the things. And, the advice that my parents gave me, both of them were like, don't even start thinking about this stuff till you're 30. Don't even think about it. Cause it's funny, even when I think about, I never thought about having a man in my partner life fantasies, but I did think about the ring. I was like, I will have this type of ring and the type of ring that I wanted. Now I'm like, oh, I don't want that. So things change, okay? Things change. The person that I was 5 years ago, completely different person now, which probably means I'm going to be a completely different person when I'm 30. So give yourself time, give yourself grace. Um, and it sounds so cheesy, but we truly don't know what's going to happen in the future. We have no idea. So I'm not going to sit around and waste my time stressing about where is my person, right? I'm going to go out with my friends, I'm going to go on vacation, I'm going to work hard, and if he comes into my life, great. And if I become the fun aunt for all my friends' kids, great. That sounds amazing actually. So it's all going to work out how it's supposed to work out. And I think take a second and reflect on, your past 5 years. When I look at everything that's happened to me in the last 5 years, the universe, like everything has fallen into place so perfectly. And me getting out of things that I knew wasn't a good situation for me, or me, being bold and making a decision to do something by myself or start something by myself or make new friends or distance myself from other friends, distance myself from situationships, any decision that I've made for myself and any decision that I've made that truly was me being true to myself, I get rewarded from the universe. So keep that in mind. I know it sounds cheesy and annoying, but keep it in mind. And even last week, I was in such a funk and I couldn't put my finger on what it was, but I knew something was bothering me. And I had to sit back and start peeling back the layers of, okay, what's bothering me? Why am I stressed? What habits have I been doing to try and cope with this stress without actually coping with it? This is a completely, this is a segue, obviously. But, and so I peel back the layers and I peel back the layers of like, okay, what's stressing me out right now? And I realized that one of the things, or the thing that it was, summertime in Vegas. My brain doesn't work. Um, was getting nervous about all of this travel. I travel a lot, but I hadn't been traveling for the past month. And I was sitting there and I was like, okay, how can I turn this anxiety about traveling into excitement, right? We don't know what's going to happen when you get to these trips. I had a pretty idea of how the work trip would go, but I didn't know we would get delayed 5 hours. I have a pretty good idea of how this Vegas trip is going to go. And then someone mentioned going to see the weekend on Sunday. So I don't know. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I don't know. So you don't know what's going to happen. Any sort of anxiety about the future, you have no idea what's going to happen. So I really sat with myself and I was like, okay, how can I turn this anxiety into excitement to be traveling, to be working again, to be with my family, to be seeing friends, to be in Vegas at the Wynn, laying in bed drinking a coffee, right? So to get out of that, I was like, that whole week, the anxiety was paralyzing me, honestly, because I didn't want to like do anything. I was nervous. I couldn't figure out what it was. So to get myself out of it, honestly, I worked out. I went to my friend's soul cycle class, and that really helped me. Great vibes, great music. I went on a solo date to go see Materialists, and it was nice to be just in a dark theater, no phone technology. Great movie, by the way. So give yourself time to figure out what's wrong. Give yourself time and grace to ask yourself those questions. Okay, what's bothering me? No, but what's really bothering me? Okay, how can I fix this? Write a list of actionable tasks that you can check off. Like once I packed for the trip and got everything organized, I was like, oh, we're going to be okay. We're here. So take a breath, reconnect with yourself. It's going to be okay, whether it's work stress, men stress, friend stress. Just remember that you got yourself and it's going to be okay. Um, Side note, I saw this thing either on TikTok or Instagram that has really been helping me with my confidence and just mental health. Um, any sort of love song or any song where someone's talking about a girl or someone's talking about, feel good feelings towards another person, the video or post or whatever said to pretend that that is about you, so that that is a love song that you're writing about yourself. I know it sounds crazy, but honestly, it does help because I listen to Meg the Stallion and I'm like, correct, that is me, correct. But any sort of song that's like a little bit deeper, I listen to it and it honestly helps me like, I'm like, okay, we can do this. And then you gotta, again, have your moments where you listen to Meg the Stallion and remind yourself that you are that girl because you are that girl. So I don't remember anything that I said, honestly, for the past 30 minutes, but I hope that some of it made sense. Let's have a coffee break, okay? Wow. The coffee's just so good here. Last night we went to Casa Playa for Mexican. And it was just the food's so good. I just want to lay by the pool and eat food. I don't want to do anything. But now I got to figure out a little bit more of a schedule to see what friends I can kind of try and squeeze into the trip. But next time you see me, I'll be back in New York. Unfortunately, Mr. CK, his Paris work trip got moved up, so I won't see him when I get back. I don't know when. My friend was like, "Did you ask when he gets back from Paris?" And I was like, "Nope." We'll see how it plays out. So I don't think I'll see him, but when I get back, I have so many work things that need to get done and need to happen. So we got things to do. Okay. This like ripped off the summer work. I was fun employed for the past month, but now we're back. So we're here. We have priorities and we're staying busy. And if a man fits into it, great. And if he doesn't, great. Remember to take care of yourself, stay busy. You got this. Um, yeah. And I'll see you all back in New York City, baby. Bye.